Hello, hello, hello. I'm the PaintedDog and welcome back to episode 7 of our Timberborn Let's Play series. I hope you're having a lovely day. My day is actually quite good, thanks. So if we get out of this view, we can see what's approaching. It's a bad tide. Not to worry, we have things that we in place to basically help us, basically stop everything from going to in a bad place. As you can see, I'm busy getting these platforms in. There's some power production in here, but they still need to be building up the power connected power shafts as we're placing in the platforms. And I connected it up on this side, and I have this just so we can be able to get power up there. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Okay, so I don't think, they haven't been able to get in there, but that's fine. We have this hill sitting set up, so when that water dips down below of low enough, that's sorted. But what I want to address in this episode specifically is the manually basically going around and doing this. I don't really want to do that anymore. And we are getting resin there. We need to get extract. For that, we need bad water and extract at the end of the day to do that. So that's fine. We will be able to do that when they get this in. And I want to address our storages. See, planks, it's fine. That's, I can always include a bit more storage for those. Resin is fine. That's fine for now, but I can always include that a bit more. Scrap metal parts I definitely need, and then metal blocks as well. The same with our food. But I also want to go ahead and do a bit of automation for our population as well as resources. But I need to find a place that's out of the way and that I won't really be using for anything else in the long run. So I might be using this for power generation or power generation for industrial applications. So I think we'll just leave it like that. For this side, let's just go over here. I think this will be a good place for us to do a bit of automation. I want to unlock, where's it now? Population counter. And I'm just going to place it there. And then I want to take a look at unemployed beavers. Yeah. Just turn it on when it's less than, let's say, let's be conservative for now. 5. Then I'm going to go ahead and do this. That thing's name population counter. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it like that. You know what? No. I'm going to change this to unemployed beaver. Just going to go pops. Okay, so that's fine. So it's less than 5 and it's turned on. So this will be automate to unemployed beavers. I did that. That still needs to be built. So I'll just check that as soon as it's done. And I want to change this out for the, what do you call this? The advanced breeding pods. That's a word that I was looking for. So this is now paused. Let's speed this up so they can get that done. And this is somewhat out of the way. So yeah, that's fine. Get that done. Okay, so they will work on that. But I also want resources. I think the first one that I want to address is our water situation here. But I think for that, let's go ahead and take that out. Because I want to place in a depth sensor as well. It's the only thing with INT, if you don't have a large industrial piles that you get with the folktails. Let's go depth sensor there. Get that in. And this is water depth sensor, okay. Let's say if it's greater than 0.3. Yeah, let's do something like that for now. Yeah, like that. So, the thing is, if you just do a sensor, a resource counter, there it is. Let's unlock this first, and let's place down the first one. Let's say like that. You say for water, for instance, as it was set up. If it's less than, let's say, 80%, this will switch on. But as soon as it's 81% or 80%, then it will turn off again. And then it will just be someone's at work, they pump a little bit, and then they go home. And then someone drinks water and they come back. So I don't want that to happen. So what I'm going to do is, let's see if I can remember my operations. It's been a while since I've did this. So I'm going to take this up to, let's say, 95%. I think that's fine. So this one will be less than 80%, and I think 80% is a good threshold. But then I don't want, I need logic for this as well. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the memory will be the one that's best for this. So I'm just going to change this over to water. No, I'm not even going to do that. This one I'm going to change to water. So your starting point is over there, and then your stopping point is over there. This will reset. So now, as soon as I get that, that's water. But I also want to do something with this, because I don't want them to basically keep on pumping or keep these in, even if how do I put this? There's no water in here. And I don't want beavers employed here if there's no water. That's why I put the depth sensor in there. So I think I'm going to need a relay as well. So this will be and this will be set to that depth sensor, as well as this memory node. Yeah, I think that will be the way to go. So get that in, please and thank you. So then I'm going to go ahead and put these up. And water, automate them to water, automate to water. I need to take all of these simple ones off. Automate to water. And automate to water. I believe this will work. We'll just need to check. Paused by automation. Of course, we have more than 6 unemployed. So I'm going to go ahead and boost this up to, let's say, 10. Let's just check to see if this has been unpaused. But these have been manually paused, so that's why they are. But these ones reset, so that's good. I always have those other ones in stock if we need. So let's go and have a look at our water. That's still paused. I'm just going to go ahead and get these pumping. So as soon as the water dips down, then we can always do that. So the water is sorted. Next up, what's next? Let's go ahead and place in another memory node. And then resource counters, if I can remember. What's next up on the list? So water was first. Let's go from this side. I'm going to go logs. If it's less than 80%. And logs if it's more than 95. If I can just 95. So this one will reset of that, and this one will reset that, and this one is named logs. So I'm going to go ahead and build up these and get all sorted for this. For instance, for the logs, I'm going to go to my lumberjacks. Okay, that's a gatherer. You will be automated to logs. You will be automated to logs. You will be automated to logs. Did I get all my lumberjacks? I don't think so. Let me just check. You are automated to logs. Okay, so all my lumberjacks have been automated. Great. So then they can be sorted out as soon as these are in. You see, that's a problem. I need extract. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and get a deep bad water pump up and running just for now. Go ahead and do that. And then get what, just shift it up one. I think a lot of people were screaming at me for that one, but hey, that's fine. That's fine. Let's get crossing there, and I want to get something like this in. And you know what? Now that's fine. Let's just leave it at that. And they can get this sorted out. Okay. So now that is supplying all that. I think it might be time to unlock the large water wheels on this side. I'm just going to set these to normal priority. And then I think let's go ahead and take all of that out. And let's just shift this up. If I would did that correctly the first time, that would have helped. Because I know it's going to be dodgy. Just pausing now because I don't want them to build anything. So let's unlock this. And let's get this moved over. I know I'm wasting a bit now, but hey, that's fine. Let's place that there. Move that over. Then we can get the storage just sorted out again. And at the end of the day, you need logs and scrap metal. So let's go. This will be for logs. This will be for scrap metal. And this will be for normal plain metal. That's what I wanted. And I need to dynamite that bit out. So for now, let's just go ahead and do that. Get that sorted out as well. Get that in. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this off screen so you don't have to see this. I'm going to get the basic setup for bad water and extract. I'm going to get that set up and then get the basics in, get this hooked up again, and then as soon as we get that, I'm going to do all the memory stuff and all the resource counters in here and get everything sorted out for basically all of this that we already have. And as soon as we get something new, then we can always add it in here. But I will do that when I get everything sorted, and then I'll bring you back. And we are back. It might have been an abrupt transition, but we'll see. But yeah, so I went ahead and I automated everything. I just can't really automate things like the corn or the cassava, coffee beans. Because for instance, the coffee beans, if I gather it by a gatherer flag, it does berries, coffee beans, and mango fruit. Now, if we only have, for instance, this gatherer, if it only gathers one of these things, then great. But this one can get to those berries, it can get to these coffee beans. The same with this bad boy. And the same thing for the farmhouse. If it's only one farmhouse for one crop, and it only has access to one, then that's it. Sorry about that. The game had to be paused because I got a phone call that was urgent. Okay, so as I said, I put this in now. I have a couple of memory nodes in, and for a couple of resources. You see, for the corn rations itself, and for prepared food that's only prepared at one building, that can still be done. But for instance, the berries can't be automated unless there's one gatherer that's only doing that. Okay, so the scavenger flags are out, so I'm just going to pause them so that they can take those materials out. But luckily, we already have access to this. So these ones I'm just going to automate to scrap metal and automate to scrap metal. Still have quite a lot to there, so it's fine. So we can still start to get our way over here, because if you can remember, here's a mine right here, so it would actually be helpful to do that. And since there's water flowing here, it might be an idea to get a couple of water wheels in here and put the smelters in here, if we were to take this mine over and do this. But I need to get in here and seal that off so we can just leave it, or basically get this sorted. Okay, but for that I need to get away. What I need to do, let me just without getting too sidetracked, I need to get explosives and specifically unlock the tunnels, so we can tunnel this out when in a drought, tunnel this out and get a couple of things sorted out, so we can seal that off. So basically, instead of water flowing up here, it just flows off the map right there. Yeah, that's something that we need to do. But if you take a look here, I already placed in the next row. I'm going to get this up to that level. So just another extra one. I could actually have done that already, but for now, that's fine. Let's get that in. And they can always take this out later on. All this is now connected, which is great. I like that. All of these are paused, and I really like this whole setup now for automation. Yes, we'll get a couple of areas where, when, for instance, the water switches on, we lose 6 people right there, but that's fine. It will be, they will come in, do the work, and then they'll just disappear. Okay, so I put in the centrifuge so we can get extract, so we can get the memory nodes in. So that's now done. We have a basic extract there. So yeah, we can start doing a bit more work. So I'm thinking, since we have this now, to get this unlocked. But as you see there, there's a high chance of injury. But it's the same with some, for instance, the centrifuge. And we have 3 injured beavers now. But I'm not too picky at this stage. We can always look forward to getting the bots in. But I'm going to do, for instance with this, I need planks, metal, blocks and gears. I'm going to do a separate setup to produce planks, gears and metal blocks for this. Just to make sure that we have extra supply. Because we only have 1 lumber mill at this stage, right there. So I'm going to do a separate setup for that. So, for instance, let's say we place the bot production in here. I'll have my own lumber mill and gear factories and maybe smelters. Otherwise, I can just do this thing that I thought about doing here. And get that sorted out so it's produced here. So, yeah, just to help a little bit. But I think that might be the way to go for us. But okay, so let's see what we can do here. They are busy filling that in. And automation is now done for what we already have. So let's have a quick peek. We couldn't get this because we didn't have treated planks. But now we do. So let's get the coffee in here. But we need 200 horsepower for that. But that's no big deal for us now, since we have all of these water wheels right here. You can see that's basically in. This is not a big building, but it's not small as well. If I were to take this out, just replace it with one of these guys. Let's get that as the highest priority. Just place it there. We need water and coffee beans to produce that. So if we were to go like this and get water, coffee bean, so get water in there please, get coffee beans in there, and you'll send out coffee. I need to actually go ahead and place in foodstuffs in here. For instance, do something like this. I place it in here. But as I said, this isn't the final setup for our housing. That might be something that we do sooner rather than later to sort that out. But for now, I'm just going to place in one like this and just get coffee, please. Okay. So if we take a look at the map, this is actually the center, and I want to place in, I know it should actually make districts, but I think for now, if I just get a central area and do all my housing in there, that would also work. What I can do is, for instance, this, since we don't really get water splashing over here anymore, maybe build up this area to get this sorted out. Since we have these like this, maybe take this out and place in normal sluices there, just so we have an option of getting water in here from below, and then maybe build up our housing in here. I think that might work. And this is actually redundant at this stage because we always have water in here because of this. We had a 23-day drought. I can always take this down a little bit more, but for now this is fine. So with all that waffling out of the way, let's get our explosive factories unlocked. We are producing extract right there. All of this is just temporary. We can always demolish and place in more buildings later on. But for now, let's get that in. You need, for explosives, you need bad water and then convert it to that. So let's put in that. No. That's not a good place because we can always stack in more buildings that require things like that. Things of that nature. Planks. How many planks do we have? So I'm going to go ahead and take this bad boy and I'm just going to throw it in there. And get that sort. I'm just going to go ahead and demolish this. I'm not going to waste my time with that. still reach that. Great. This will be for bad water. This will be for explosives. Great. And you will produce explosives, please. Now, since we have... while that's screaming at me, let's get this for explosives. And I need to place in more resource counters. This will reset there, or set there, and reset there. Now this is for explosives. And if it's less than 80%, that'd be great. And this is explosives. And more than... This is where I would wish that you can actually go in there and just type in, because I spend a lot of my time just to try and get to 95%. I don't know, it's not necessary, but it's nice to have it. And just as redundancy, let's just place that in. So you will be automated according to explosives. Great, so you can get that sorted out. That's built. Okay, so now we have explosives. Already 7 of those. We have extract. Actually just build up a storage tank for that. But I'm thinking now we have everything we need, so I might as well just unlock this, and we have a lot of science. I need to find an area where we can just dump a lot of resources. For instance, here. And this will be for extract. Okay, so now we have that. So let's go in here. Let's demolish that just a little bit, so we can get in another wheel. Because if you take a look at this, this takes 200. This takes 150. The smelter takes 200. Wood workshop takes 250. So one wheel won't be enough to power everything there. But if you were to take all of this out, yeah, that's fine. Then we can be, because this produces 646. So we're going to take that out. And then all that. I know they will be unhappy with that, but that's okay. So let's spin this around and get that in. Highest priority. Get that sorted for us, please. I just like to get... I need to look at it if I can find a mod that can basically set all the rubble to at least you can choose which priority or gathering priority. It should be set by default. That would really help us. Okay, so everything there is automated, which is great. This is now somewhat sorted. So I'm going to take all of these out. And now we get to the part where we just build this up. Something like this. But instead of doing that, we'll do this and get just dams. I think dams will be fine. Always change it out for... You know what? No, I don't have to do this. No, I still need, because otherwise it will overflow. I don't know. Let's quickly see this. While it's a temperate cycle, let's see if we close this up, if this now overflows again, or is this now fine. And remember, I placed in the sluice fill valves on that side. I keep saying sluices, it's fill valves now, and throttling valves. If I do that, let's just see if this overflows. I don't think it will. It will produce a bit more power for us, but I don't think this will overflow now. Seriously, dum-dums. Let me just keep an eye out for if I see any messages like that. So no, this will be fine. So you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and take out those two dams and just put in levees. Because what I want to do is, instead of these floodgates, just put in full valves there. So they shut down when a certain level and a certain threshold is reached. Put in a couple of floodgates, for instance, on this side, and then get that sorted like that. So yes, I think that will work. But I will need to get in here to do that. So with that in mind, let's just go like this. Now we need... I'm just gonna go... Let's go 90. This will be 85. Let's just go all the way to that side. It's always nice to have the option to reach over to this side. So you will first try to fill this bit up, and if that's done, then it will push over to this side. But I'm not going to do this yet because we still need to sort things out over here. But I think for now that will be fine. Yeah, then we have an option to get that sorted. I know this gate is the problem at this stage, but hopefully they can get to everything here from this road. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They'll probably be able to get to about there. That's fine. Now this is a problem now. Where's a bad water one? Less than 80. See, I didn't set this up. There and there. There you go. Okay, so now that will get sorted out. And I made a boo-boo there. Already built up the entire way around there, but yeah. Not on that side. I want to get this sorted for now. Let's see what it does. Okay, let's see then. Okay, they are going to build that up. Great. This will get sorted in the meantime. So at the end of the day, this will be a lower value than this gate. So this will fill up first. As soon as this gets to the level, it will push everything on that side. Great. Because power generation at this stage is a bit less of a priority than getting something through here. Getting bad water. Because we need the bad water. And now that we have this, we have a drought going on, I think it might be time for us to get to that side. I'm just going to go ahead and unlock mine. Because it will be time for us to get cubeways. Because this is now getting a bit far away from our colony. Let's just check to see if that is the closest mine. There's one over here. This is definitely not the closest one. We have that as well. The only reason why I'm thinking about that one is because we have water going through there. But we have a similar thing on this side. Do something with this. But I want to do something with that. We can discuss that later when we get there. So I think for now this will be our base bed, but I still want to get in here and take that down. So even if I just go from here to this, get all of these unlocked. Then just run it along here. Something like this. And when I get here, I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then we can boom, boom that. Then we can do a stretch going from there. You know what? No, I'm just not going to waste my time doing that. We have a science. I say that while I'm using a lot of science for random stuff. But now we can always get in here. Do something like that. Another tube way station right there. And now we have options. I'm not going to go down here already because it's going to be problematic. So I'm not even going to place anything there yet. Question that I have now is, do I just go ahead and do something like this? Because then we can build from multiple angles. Because we do have builders. Then they can do a bit of work from all the sides. I'm going to go ahead and prioritize that first, so they can get that sorted for us. I would also have been a great time to get in there to place something like this, but now we don't have the science. But hopefully this will be long enough so we can get this sorted out or drained out. Now that I think about it, for now, it might be an idea to get in here. Yes, we'll lose a beaver because of this, the bad water in here. If I were to go ahead and just do something like this, let's sort of pause that one, and then go ahead and do something like this. Not that one. Then just go ahead and do that. It is a high priority, not the highest, but high priority. So they can get that sorted. They can go in there and maybe get this to drain just a little bit faster. There's another way to get in here. And then later on I can just put a bad water discharge on this, so to keep it open even during droughts. That's the thing with iron teeth. I like the iron teeth for that specific reason. Now I need to wait for this water to drain down a little bit more. And it's a bit of a headache, I'm not gonna lie. But at least we can get down here now and place that in so I can get that sorted. I'm not gonna place anything yet there because although they still need to get down there, it will be a bit more time to get down there. I was starting to build this up quite fast. Okay, since we have this now, this is sorted. I'm going to place this at 90 and this up at 80. Our bad water reservoir is now complete on this side. Switch this over to keep this at 0.8. Let's say 0.5. Great, they can do that. And now we have this. Now this can fill up a little bit up to there, and then they can sort that out. Hopefully they can get this done, because I don't think this will get done in the near future now. Other thing that I can do is basically go ahead and like dynamite down from the top and then place it from the top. That might be the way to go for us, to be honest. As soon as we can get enough science for this, but for now, we can just do it like that. Yeah, I can take out these completely. Okay, we need power, so I'm gonna get that. And I can always automate that. Now, one that I haven't really looked at yet, the power meter. That need to be connected to specific power building. I'm not sure, but let's see. Just going to put that there. Surplus is less than, let's say, 100. Then it's on. I guess it needs to be connected to a specific thing. This is one that I haven't played with yet. And this will be automated to this. Let's see. Let me just take that off for now. We need to get food in. Don't know how we got a bit of bad water in here. But hey, that's fine. They will begin to get down there. Just need to drain this faster so I can get down there and basically build up those ones, then have access to this. But I think I'll also need to just go from the top and get that in, because later on we won't be able to, we don't have to wait for a drought at the end of the day to sort that out. It'd be nice just to seal this off. Doesn't go anywhere here, but then we don't have to worry about water getting in there. Okay. I need to find a space where I can include a couple of these, couple of extras there. Gravity batteries will also be great. I need to find a suitable place for them. But yes, let's see how far they've gone here. There's the first bit, but that's fine. I just want to get everything up to there so we basically get one beaver that's contaminated. We can build decontamination pods now. Extract will be produced here and then it's right here. So yeah, that's good. I prioritize that by haulers. So yes, we do have a little bit of extract, but we don't have anything basically because we don't have power going through here. But that's not the end of it. That's not a deal breaker. But if I want to, I can always do something like this. Take that out. Take that out. And then just get a replacement in there. Automate this to treated planks. There we go. You automate. Do that. And this set to surplus, am I right? Yeah. Surplus is fine. Less than 100, then you do just power through. Okay, so we can get that sorted. But I think this will be a good place for us to call this episode. So, this episode we went ahead and did a bit of automation with our resources and our population. We expanded, we got extract and explosive factories in. We started introducing extra steam engines for this. We got our bad water reservoir built up. We started getting plans to drain this a bit faster. And yeah, that's the main things that we did. We also unlocked the large storage tanks and we got the first idea to get the first decontamination stuffs in here. But I think for now, that's not too shabby start for us. So I'm going to get this also to be sorted. And yeah. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And I hope to see you in the next one. Cheerio.